but now it's kind of okay to talk about because it's now they found a way to stop it. So you guys are familiar with zimming, right? Actually, hold on. Let's stop Q for a second. We hit masters. We're fine. Let's actually have a conversation with this, and we should do this for YouTube as well, because this addresses like accusations. This addresses stuff that has to do with Overwatch and just video games, the FPS genre, and everything in between in general. So for the longest time, there was something that existed that a lot of people did not talk about, specifically with PC, because it was very, very difficult, almost impossible to detect. And because of that, best viewers, I get to ban someone, yay. There was something that it was kind of like we just didn't talk about it and we just knew it existed. But let me kind of show you all the breakdown. So on console, on top of there being the soft aim assist, there is something called zimming, right? And zimming on controller, yes, that is a funny looking controller, you know, whatever that may be, on controller was basically aimbot slash like trigger recoil control trigger mod pack type stuff, right? And this was a zim. And what this was basically is you would plug a device into like a little box thing, which is your zim, that would then go into your console that would let you, play super awesome. The other version of that is when you would use mouse and keyboard and you'd plug it in through a device so that your console thought it was a controller, but it was actually mouse and keyboard, and it would still give you the aim assist. Like there's a bunch of ways of kind of circumventing these rules and regulations that were quote unquote undetectable, and that was through hardware, right? So hardware is like a physical object that you use in order to manipulate the system and take advantage of things or to give you a competitive edge, right? Now on PC, very different. On PC, there was primarily a lot more software in either in the form of like scripting, or basically they would inject certain files into your game files that would give you certain enhancements, would put away, that were not available to the average player. So basically, the big thing that came out recently-ish is that for the longest time, software was usually detectable, right? But they would do it in batches in order to make it very difficult for the people that sold the cheat software to detect exactly what went wrong. Because the whole point of the software is that they're constantly looking to be one step ahead of the manufacturers or the people that run the games. And so what they'll do is they'll catch something that's like, oh, wait, what is this? We got them. But then they won't ban those people right away. You wait between 3 to 6 months approximately to ban them in what is called a ban wave. And this is how this has usually been done for years and years in the industry, whether it's FPS games, MOBA games, MMORPGs, and stuff like that. Because then it makes it harder for the people to kind of that are doing the cheats to figure out exactly what went wrong and which version or iteration of the cheat or which backdoor mahahaha injection was actually what made the alarms go off, right? Now, for PC, there is something that is a hardware implement. And basically what it was a device that could vary in size. Some of the more expensive ones were about the size of a flash drive, maybe a little bit bigger, and others were about the size of a mouse, about this big. And essentially what they would do is it was something that you plug into your computer, like in a USB, right? And what it would do is that the system or the game itself would just simply read it as a secondary input. But what it was not just an extra mouse you had plugged into your PC. It would take your aim and how you're tracking stuff and aiming stuff, and then it would, by reading the cheat, make those corrections that would otherwise be impossible or inhuman, and the game wouldn't detect it as cheating because it just sees everything as just simply an input from a controller or a PC approved device. Now, what they have figured out recently, which has definitely shooken up the cheating world, is that hardware used to be very difficult to detect. But now they have found a very, turns out, super simple and consistent way of detecting hardware cheaters. Very, very high success rate detecting. And this is huge because it means that all these people that normally would have been like, yeah, scan my files, you're not going to find anything. They were right. They were hardware cheating. They were using an actual instrument or a device to allow them to make those corrections. And this could be anything from like a trigger bot to just, aim assist, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. And the big deal is that now that this is more easy to detect, I think what Blizzard has done, they're like, okay, guys, our systems are in place. And they're just saying, okay, we're going to take some of the accusations more seriously. The issue with that is this, is if you have someone that's in, like, let's say, a plat lobby or a bronze lobby or even a master's lobby, and they go, this person's cheating, and enough people report them, I'm worried that that mass report will actually get the person banned. Excuse me, not because they're cheating. And Shorty, thank you for the tier 2 resub. 15 months, brother. Thank you so much. Wish I get you can't reveal the secret of how it works immediately. Still waiting to see the results of their Zim detection. They brag so much about it, but also kept it proprietary, and they should. You should never reveal how you detect the cheats because then it gives information to the people that are creating the cheats. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, if you have someone that's in bronze or plat or even masters, and they're mass accusating someone, then it becomes kind of ridiculous because if enough people report the account and Blizzard just says, yeah, they're probably cheating, as opposed to having something like this in place, it leads to not a lot of, but quite frequently enough of false accusations, and those people get their accounts taken away from them simply from being just good at pew pew, click click. Here's the thing. Back in OW1, for like the top 500s, the way that it would usually happen is that there weren't a lot of those players to begin with in there, right? So anytime a new account showed up and people like all knew each other, and so people would be like, do you know this person? Do you know this account? Do you know? No. His aim is really sus. They're shooting and they're not in VC. They're probably cheating. Everyone just stop. They would draw the match. They'd give the person a chance to kind of like, hey, are you cheating? Or, reveal who you are or whatever. And if they wouldn't, then they would just mass report, and then that account would get banned. Everyone would just agree to draw, and you just, mass report, 11-man report, and then go next. Now, for people that were doing content creation, things like that, that would be kind of difficult because if you were doing a hidden account that you were just trying to like, get to GM or get to top 500, that became kind of really difficult, but it was a necessary evil because it would keep most cheaters out of the higher echelon of the ladder, if that makes sense. But nowadays, I don't know. It feels like cheaters are more commonly seen, and yes, it's because cheaters have gotten more sophisticated, but there's also just a lot more people playing the game, so those numbers are bound to rise. But the big deal, I digress, the big deal is that for the longest time, hardware was very close to impossible to detect. And now, because of recent developments, they found almost a foolproof system of identifying it, and it's very easy to implement. It's very easy to implement, especially on console. And that's the big deal. So you're going to see maybe even, God forbid, some content creators that start dropping rank aggressively because now magically their aim isn't as good. I don't know. A little sussy. Zim, my friend, got banned. My alt account was banned, but I got it back. Allegedly still want to see results. Same, all my alts got banned. This is the double-edged sword, you know? Are they over-tuning the system to just detect anyone with above a certain percentage? Because I think that's a mistake. Or are they letting people actually have more weight when they do mass reports? Because I'm sorry, a plat player that's crying because they got absolutely dunked on because they got aim diffed, or even like you landed a crazy shot, like even I've landed crazy shots that looked a little sus. Those people getting reported just because they landed a good shot, that's like a 1 in a million, that's not cheating. It's the people that are consistently doing saucy things. And that's why I'm so grateful that Overwatch does have a death feed or a kill cam. Thank you. a kill cam, because that does really do a lot to help, because not everyone stops it and goes back and checks the VOD and be like, I think this person's cheating, and it's not always the most obvious thing, but having those things in place, I think, do make a difference. I'm just really worried about taking everyone's word for it when it comes to reporting cheaters, because some people, I don't even some, I'm going to say a vast majority of the people that report cheaters, they're just salty, and it's just cope. It's just copium that they got absolutely dunked on. Above 40% accuracy is banned now. I should be banned on every hero, including Mercy. Then, anyway, chat. That's kind of my take on the whole situation. I'd love to hear any experiences that y'all have. Some of you in chat have already been telling me about how you had a friend that got this, a friend that got that. This is going on YouTube, so if you do have a story to tell, put it in there. Let me know what you feel about the whole thing. And I think this affects all of us as gamers, not just Overwatch and FPS players, but just cheating in general. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Do you support it? Do you not support it? Me personally, I think it's kind of sad that you're so I guess bad at a game that you have to cheat. I don't know. I can't even see the game that well, and if even I can play it at a slightly better than average level, I mean, ah, it's just it's a little sad. Lack of a word, better word, pathetic. But I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I'm curious to see what y'all think. Anyway, that's it. Chilling. Peace.